Say, man, welcome to a special edition of the War Zone. It's the Endorsement Show. We got some key races that are actually going on right now, some runoff races in Fort Bend County as well as Harris County. So I'm about to lay down some endorsements, man. Say, you got to get ready because I'm not going to hold nothing back. Say, man, I want to welcome you to a special edition of the War Zone. The regular programming of the War Zone will come on as usual at 7 o'clock, but tonight I got to do an endorsement show to endorse some of these races that I see are out here that are close to me in Houston, Texas, Harris County, Fort Bend County, and I'm just gonna lay it on the line. I'm just lay it on the line. During this election cycle, we have seen a bunch of corruptness, a bunch of dirty politics, and that leaves us with a few races that need to be decided tomorrow. Harris County, Fort Bend County. So we are going to start with a race that's kind of personal to me. Hold on a second, y'all. It's kind of personal to me because it has gotten real ugly for whatever the reason. And I don't like ugly politics. I don't like dirty politics. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when you out here and you campaigning, you're supposed to do it ethically. You're supposed to do it with some understanding that you need to just bust your behind. You feel what I'm saying? You need to bust your behind. So in the Missouri City Council race at large position 2, I'm gonna run with Lynn Clauser, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna run with Lynn Clauser. I'm telling you in Fort Bend, if you have to vote in that race at large position 2, that you should really give great consideration to voting for Lynn Clauser. If you've not voted, you need to go tomorrow. The lines won't be long, and you need to vote for Lynn. Lynn is a woman of integrity. Lynn comes from great lineage. You know, father's one of the most celebrated judges that you could run across. Her cousin, Miss Clauser at Yates, has been there for many, many moons. So she comes from good stock. And I think the people would be better served in Missouri City if Lynn Clauser was the person that you chose to represent you. So she has the official endorsement from the 5-star general. That is City Council at large position 2. Vote for Lynn Clauser. Now let's talk about this mayoral race in Fort Bend. Let's talk about this mayoral race in Fort Bend. And my thing is, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't like, at the end of the day, you have Yolanda Ford running against. I'm trying to not pronounce this young man's name wrong. Robert, uh, if I'm correct. Um, and let's talk about the current mayor of Missouri City. Now I know some of you black folk, y'all are not as informed as you portray to be, and that's okay. But what you got to stop doing is going to the polls and just voting for a popularity contest. Missouri City, Texas has a problem at the mayoral position because you have a current mayor who likes to do things without conferring with city council, likes to hire people without conferring with city council. And that does not work for me. So the endorsement from the 5-star general for mayor of Missouri City will go to Robin. I can't pronounce this last name. Elakic. Robert Elakic will get the endorsement over the incumbent, who's Yolanda Ford. And it's a lot of reasons why I chose to do that. You know, when the flood came, where was Yolanda? When the pandemic first popped off, where was the mayor of Missouri City? You don't feel like you have to communicate with people? When you were in the general election in November, you basically refused to go to certain forums. You didn't want to debate your opponents. And more importantly, just the way that you run the city is just garbage. So if you ask me, the endorsement from the 5-star general will go over to Robert Elected. If I'm pronouncing his name wrong, forgive me. I think you'd be better served to get the foolishness out of office and get you somebody in there that's going to help Missouri City grow. You know, take care of every part of Missouri City, not just certain parts. You feel what I'm saying? Now, the last race that I'm concerned with is the District B race over in northeast Houston, and that includes Tasha Jackson and Cynthia Bailey. Oh man, hold on a second, y'all. So we're gonna talk about the District B race over there, and we're gonna go with that. In the District B race, you have two polarizing figures. You have Tasha Jackson, been out here fighting for police reform, justice reform, the whole 9 yards. You have Cynthia Bailey, who has a checkered past, but has gotten out of jail and has done the work that a lot of people would never do. Now, I'm gonna break this down for you because earlier in the year, I found out some things about Miss Bailey, and I went to work. I'm gonna report what I find, and then I'm gonna go do the work. And that's what hold on a second, y'all. And that's what that I did. So here's my problem with the District B race. One, I told y'all a long time ago, my intel is never wrong. And when I go to dig, I go to find what I need to find. This should not even be a runoff. Why is that? Tasha doesn't live in the district. I'm putting it out there. I'm gonna stand on 10 toes with it. She doesn't live in the district. So whether Bailey is considered a crook or whatever she's considered, she shouldn't even be running against this woman because once again, the Harris County Democratic Party has dropped the ball on somebody that wanted to run for public office. Now, if the District B race was so important to Miss Jackson, why is it that when you first signed up to run for public office, you were in at-large number 5? You got out of at-large number 5. You came over to B because you feel like you couldn't beat Sally Alcorn. I told y'all I went back and did the work. I did the work. So I'm gonna talk about Cynthia. I went back and did the work. So those are some of the things. So I don't think she has a connection with District B. And when you don't have a connection with the community that you represent, you tend to ignore the community as a whole, and you don't accomplish whatever goals you think you saying you're gonna tell these people you're gonna do. You don't get anything done when you don't have a connection there. So my thing is she does not live in B. She does not live in B. Therefore, she should have never been in the race. From the gate, she should have never been there. Now we go over and we look at Cynthia Bailey, who had issues with money being stolen in the North Forest ISD community. And I said, well, let me go dig off into it some more. So I've had about maybe 6 or 7 months just constantly digging. And I listen to her, I hear her say, well, I got out and I did this here, but that cloud will always be over your head. Your past just doesn't leave you sometimes. And some people are not comfortable putting someone in office that has a checkered past when it comes to money being missing. So it's sort of like people say, well, how you gonna put a crackhead in charge of the crack house? If money is what drives people to do something wrong, then how could you vote for Cynthia and she has this hanging over her head? But what I wasn't gonna do with this District B race, I'm gonna endorse it. I'm gonna endorse this race tonight. Right now, I'm gonna endorse this race. And then when I tell you who I endorse, is because I did the work, I did the research, and I'm comfortable with what I have to do because it's what it is. There's no way to get around the fact that somebody has to take that seat. Right now, you're getting taxation without representation. Jared Davis is not representing the community. He hasn't represented the community for over 8 years. All he did was build his portfolio. You see what I'm saying? And I agree. Willie D should have been able to run. He should have been able to run. And I'm a big fan of Will's, but I know him on a personal level, and I think Will would have done great. I think that Will should be able to run for whatever he wants to run for. So my endorsement in the District B race is going to go to Cynthia Bailey. Let me tell you why. I dig off into all this stuff. I go and I look at things that you guys could never even fathom. I looked at the connection of Tasha to Top. I looked at the things that Top say they do. Some grant aspects that Tasha was over. And I'm still trying to figure out if Cynthia took money. Just ride with me for a second, Janelle. Just listen to me. If Cynthia took money, okay, cool. So I would ask Tasha, what did you do with all the money from Harvey that was given to Top that you were supposed to distribute to the affected neighborhoods that were flooded, that were decimated? Is it true or not that you only passed out 25 gift cards and got millions of dollars? Millions of dollars and only passed out 25 gift cards? I also looked at me endorsing Bailey, and nobody paid me for an endorsement. Nobody put pressure on me. I'm letting you know that we constantly want to give the white politician a pass because of their past. So why shouldn't we give Cynthia Bailey one? If we can give Joe Biden a pass for his past, then why should we not give Cynthia Bailey one? Now I look at the work that has been done for the last 4 years. Tasha can't even stand next to Cynthia with the work Cynthia did in that community. So sometimes you go and you do stupid stuff and you just get out here and you try to pay it back. And the way that she paid it back was by working in her community, having a relationship with the people in her community. She lives in the community. She had every right to run, and it is what it is. But the work that she's done cannot be overlooked. The work that she's done cannot be overlooked. It won't be overlooked. So for me to y'all, I will endorse Cynthia Bailey and tell you to go cast your vote, because I'm gonna tell you something. Based on what I know, if Tasha get in that seat, y'all think it's already some trickery going on? It's gonna be more trickery. It's gonna be more trickery. And then I think the nail in the coffin for me was when I've realistically found out that Rodney Ellis was supporting Tasha Jackson. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't do it. So the endorsement in District B will go to Cynthia Bailey who I think will never forget about her community, who at the end of the day will have to live with every indiscretion that she's dealt with. It will always be over her head. And the only way she can get rid of that, she has to get in there and do the work. She has to get in there and do the job that I think that she'll end up doing. You know, I look at these politicians, how they operate. I look at the work that they do, and she has never stopped working. So if I can give, not me, but if y'all can give a pass to Joe Biden because of his past, you're going to have to give a pass to Cynthia Bailey. So, you know, bottom line, that's my endorsements. Lynn Clauser for at-large position 2, Missouri City Council. Robert Eacklick for mayor in Missouri City. And last but not least, Cynthia Bailey for District B, City Council, City of Houston. Y'all kick back. We'll be back at 7 o'clock, and we gonna do what we do. So you don't want to miss this. We'll be talking about all the news that happened today. And with that being said, I love you as usual. You don't have to love me, but I tell you this, it don't even matter. It don't even matter. It don't even matter. So 7 o'clock, y'all make sure y'all tune into the regular War Zone. We're gonna talk about Richard Bonton, and it is what it is. I didn't endorse in the Stafford race. Shanita, I didn't endorse in the Stafford race. Not very familiar with it, and you know, it is what it is. So those are my endorsements, and it's time to realistically get the right people in office. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back at 7 o'clock.